My dear viewers, beginning today is the official Alliteration Gaming Patreon and channel members. Throughout my Patreon, we've got quite a few tiers you can check out in order to gain special perks and even commission videos that you'd like to see me upload onto the channel. Every tier includes a shout out on my supporter card at the beginning of all of my videos, along with the benefits of the tier itself. Following that, you can now also join the Alliteration Nation by becoming a channel member on the YouTube side of things. Pledging your subscription here as a member of the channel is going to grant you the same shout out on my supporter card as all the Patreon tiers do, as well as access to the members only channel on my Discord. You'll gain a member badge that will level up as you stay subscribed and access to my exclusive emotes when I stream on YouTube. If you're interested in checking out the Patreon, I'm going to have the link in the description and in the pinned comment down below, as well as the link to my Discord should you want to join that as well. And if you want to become a channel member, the big beautiful join button is front and center on my homepage right here. And if you do decide to support the channel in any way whatsoever, know that I am unimaginably grateful, and I can't wait to provide you with even more top-notch content at my trademark top speed. Now, let's get on to the video. Welcome my friends to another Alliteration Gaming video. My name's Levi, and today I've got Brian Connolly with me, one of our lovely patrons on here, to do a little build a deck. Brian, say hi.
Hi.
All right, so you've sent me this Void 13 list is what we're looking at, and you said it's kind of got a bit of a hand disruption focus. So tell me a little bit about what's going on with this deck, and then where you'd like it to go, right? What are we here to do? How are we here to improve it?
All right, so this deck, I tried to think of what 13 could do, and Void with its negation seemed like an ideal spot for 13. So I thought, well, go with the hand disruption that's already available in Void, and then add in some of the other disruption and negation, Tacky Fanatic, and Erase, Night's Watch, even the new Proud Scion, because I mean, having foundations on your opponent's turn is pretty good from what I remember being like way back, like old UFS.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, really good cards.
13's definitely got some pretty strong control elements going on with her, and I think the main question that people have really arisen since this character came out, people are like, okay, this character is good, but how does she kill people? I've seen a lot of air decks. Air symbol definitely can kill people, whether or not your character is doing things. But I think what's cool about the Void symbol here is that, well, if they have no hand, we can definitely kill them. Void has come a long way since set 1 as far as killing people is concerned, and it's really thanks to a lot of the really strong discard tactics. So I guess let's kind of start off with the attacks and figure out what's going on here, what might be able to improve upon. I'm seeing a lot of weapons here, which I do love. We all know I love me some weapons, man. We got cards with Eraserhead's face on them. I also love them. We got some Blood Moon Rendings, which I also love. So I'm getting the vibe that we want to do a lot of comboing, we want to do a lot of hand filtering, and we want to just kind of rip apart their hand.
Yeah, I mean, that's the basic idea that I have. I mean, training Knife Strike, if they don't bother to block, they have to discard. Off-guard Punch, same thing. If you don't block, you have to discard anyway. Hardened Chop, if you block, you lose 2 cards. Blood Moon Rending, you discard a card, I get to selectively, if I can get the combo off, discard a card, I can selectively then remove a card from their hand. So it seemed like a pretty good way. The other ones were, the other Erasure ones just had good seal abilities on them, and then obviously Binding Cloth Assault is some of the only card draw I could find in Void.
Yeah, Cloth Assault is kind of the only thing that really gets you there. The one thing weapons really don't have is like a solid cantrip. You kind of have to hard commit to Cloth Assault to get it off, but it's not bad. I mean, especially because like the most of the value that we get from this one doesn't rely on us seeing the action, which is pretty nice. I really like Cloth Capture in this deck. The only thing that concerns me is consistently seeing an action, but I guess we are a 7-hander, so it might not be too bad. The Erasure Grasp, you mentioned the seal on that, so I'm guessing that's kind of the main reason it's in here?
Yeah, it's not exact. It was another thing that could trigger the combo on Binding Cloth Capture, and it would give some damage to future attacks that were combo or weapon, which most of the deck is, other than Hardened Chop and Off Guard Punch, right?
Yeah, so, absolutely. So
that's it.
Go ahead.
I'm not married to it.
Yeah. So I mean, the main thing that's cool here, right, is since Blood Moon just needs to see an attack and then a weapon, we kind of have a little bit of leeway to play like 1 or 2 non-weapons and get a little bit of swifty with it. The only issue I really see there is it makes Cloth Assault as our second attack extremely awkward if we don't open with a weapon. So like Cloth Assault and Cloth Capture combined, that fact combined with the fact that we need to see actions to play them makes me not incredibly in love with them. So, but let's kind of go. I have some other attacks set aside here to think about, because another thing that I feel like is kind of missing here is like a big damage card. Right, we can rip apart their whole hand, then they have none in hand, and it's like, okay, well, you can't block now, but how do I actually kill you? These moves are all like, 5 damage basically. Right. So if you go down to these attacks here, I've got quite a few cool ones. As far as the big damage card goes, right now I'm looking at Binding Cloth Dropkick, Brandish Steel, or the Almighty Total Erasure Binding, because Powerful 3 is a big word. It's a really big word.
Powerful 3 is a big word. And the only concern I have with that is just being able to actually get momentum in this deck. It's just not a particularly, like, maybe I get a poke here and there, but
the void weapons do not poke extremely well.
So
you're much more trying to sculpt.
Yeah, and so that would be my thoughts with the Total Erasure, but drop kicks not bad. I mean, one card for 4 damage.
It's not a bad exchange rate after we've ripped apart their whole hand. I like Brandish Steel too, but I think the issue with Brandish Steel is the same issue I have with Cloth Assault, where if we open with a non-weapon, which we're kind of into the idea of doing, it's not a good second move. And like if we want our third move to be Blood Moon, we really want these second moves to be a weapon. So we want it to be a weapon we're at least going to get the max value of. So after thinking about that, I think I'm much more into Dropkick if we're looking for some damage. So I'll go ahead and I'll take Total Erasure and Brandish Steel out of here. Now let's look at a couple of our non-weapon options, because it's a 13 deck and we don't have the 13 attack in here. That feels a little interesting.
Yeah, the attack, unfortunately to me, it doesn't do enough compared to what the other discard ones do, because it allows them to refuel their hand if they then have. So if they have 3 cards in hand, they go back up to having 3.
Right. It's only really good if they're passing it into us with 4 in hand, which doesn't seem incredibly likely.
Yeah, and even then, it's like you want it to be your first card, so it's going to be when they have the most cards in hand that it's going to trigger. So it might effectively do nothing, especially since they get to selectively choose what they're getting rid of. It just feels better to lead with a Knife Strike or a Hardened Chop.
Yeah, or even an off-guard punch at that point.
At that point.
Yeah, the selective committal is really nice, but I don't think that alone can sell me on the card. So instead, I want to pivot to our other non-weapon opener that I want to talk about. Are we down to play 2 checks, my friend? Because Waylay is nuts.
Yeah, Waylay. Oh, I forgot it had Void.
Waylay is totally nuts. Being able to go Waylay into any weapon into Blood Moon Rending just sounds sick. That sounds gnarly.
Yeah, no, I don't know why I did not think about Waylay at all. Like that, that just straight up replaces an off guard punch right out the game.
Yeah, I think Waylay just feels like a much better off guard punch, and then we can and then like if we really want to start to homogenize things there, right? Let's say like we cut the off guard punch, right?
For sure.
And then let's say we put in 3 Waylays, and then what if we just like get super homogenized, right? What if we put Hardened Chop to 4, and then what if we put like Blood Moon Rending to 4?
Well, I think at that point I'm running way too many attacks unless we're dropping some other.
Yeah, we're gonna cut a few other things. Cut a few other things for sure. I'm just trying to think of what space are we like? What's our ideal attack lineup, right? What's our kill string looking like?
Chop is actually one of the cards that I would consider cutting.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we just go like full Waylay instead of Chop?
Yeah, I would like it's one of those things where I look at it. It's a mid block anyway. I'm running a bunch of those in the first place. Look at the stats. It was like 20 mid blocks already, so I'm not really hurting for mid blocks.
Yeah. Our block zones are actually extremely balanced, honestly. At 19, 20, and 25, so we have a lot of leeway to go back and forth with them.
Yeah, I took a lot of pains to try and make sure that those are balanced.
Yeah, I mean we're a 7-hander, right? We need some real balanced block zones.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
like
so
let's say what if we cut hard and chop, we put waylay to 4, right? How's that look now?
20 attack.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Now my other order of business I want to talk about. How do we feel about somnambulism?
Ooh, I think well, I mean, it's 1-2 check or the other, right? And
Yeah.
6 or more printed keywords in your card pool. Do they have to be different? Do we have enough keywords?
It's pretty tough to get.
Yeah.
If we play as our second move, yeah, it's pretty tough to get.
Yeah, I think that Villainous Waylay just does so much work.
Yeah.
with the whole, either I name a block zone and either I strip that from your hand or you show me your hand. And now I know what I have to do. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes the decision tree a lot easier.
But like the order version of this had a Deku's Notebook specifically for that, the whole like, all right, let's take a look.
Oh, Deku's Notebook is so sick. Yeah, I feel like we can either go the waylay train or we can like so like the main thing about somnambulism, right, over something like waylay is that it makes our weapons real nice, right? Because like we can open with the somnambulism and then we're able to play things like our cloth assault, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like how married are we to like cloth assault?
I wasn't really, again, that was like the only other card draw I've got is Unexpected Hero.
Yeah.
But you are a 7-hand size character, so if you're going through turns and sculpting, then maybe you don't necessarily need it.
Right.
So like, one of the things that I'm married to, it actually, I'll be honest, if I could cut it, I would, because it's actually in my Hatsume Mai deck, and I don't want to put it into this.
I love that. Bro, all May? That's a sick deck.
Yeah.
We should be talking about that deck.
I mean, hey,
so like,
sometimes
we could, it's like, we want to find something that's not like, this is where it starts to get into the nitty gritty, right? Because we want to run these waylays, but now we're suddenly having to think a lot harder about our combo trees, right?
Yeah, and that's where binding cloth assaults need a weapon.
Right.
The thing with the Erasure Grasp was it comboed off an attack and was a weapon itself, so it went nicely into Blood Moon Rending, but the problem is that it's a 5, right? So you're playing on a 6.
Yeah, I think the real issue here, right? I'm if anything, I'm almost liking the Erasure Grasp more though, because the issue I'm seeing, right, is that Blood Moon Rending allows us to play a non-weapon as our first attack, but then we need a weapon as our second attack. But then every weapon wants to combo with a weapon. So that first attack not being a weapon suddenly doesn't work anymore. And then the Erasure Grasp, though, can kind of come in and fix that. It actually lets us combo. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Erasure Grasp. It just was one of those things of like, I know that it's tough. I could cut the Binding Cloth Assaults. You just have to figure out something to place it with at that point.
Yeah.
Some kind of, I mean, I guess like Brandish Steel might not be bad because it's just, even if it's played without another weapon having been played, still 4 damage move.
It definitely still exists. It definitely still exists. So like the main thing we want to think about here is, I guess we want to think about weapons that don't need to combo with a weapon necessarily. Now, I mean, under Void, that's pretty tough to find. Weapons, the thing about weapons is they like to find other weapons.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also finding something in that 4 diff slot, too, so that you're not always having to play a 6.
Yes, that we're not just, like, super overloading ourselves. How do you feel about Expert Flurry? Expert Flurry is combo attack. Alternatively, there's also Binding Shoulder Rush. Binding Shoulder Rush is pretty cool.
It is, and I mean, it would help you ready back up if you check a 5. You ready back up the foundation.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I think it's either that or expert flurry.
Yeah.
See, one's a high, one's a mid block. I think I'm liking expert flurry a little better.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
I think I'm really feeling expert flurry. Also, it's just a little, it's a little more, it's a little more flexible too, right? Because we can just go in like now. See, this kind of starts to give us a lot of different lines here, right? Because now we can like open expert flurry and then still get the next one just 2 damage. We can play any weapon, and then we can blood moon, or we can waylay and then we can flurry and then we can blood moon, or we can waylay then we can grasp then we can blood moon. Now, our lines feel a lot more flexible now.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And expert flurry, like if you don't get the combo and hands off, oh well.
It's not the end of the world, right? It's like it's one that we can open with, or it's one that we can follow waylay with, and that's what we're looking for right now. Yeah, that's really what I think we're looking for.
Yeah, I think that makes it perfect for this. So,
that feels great. And then we still have the training knife strike that can get in there basically anywhere because it's a weapon, right? And it doesn't need any stringent combo requirements. And then we have these cloth captures that can like come in like after the blood moon or something, or they can come in as an alternative to the blood moon, right? Because if we're gonna go like waylay flurry or waylay grasp, then we can third as the cloth capture on a 5 if we play our action, and it still performs a discard.
Yeah, and then a bunch of the actions remove themselves, so that is kind of the idea there too.
Yeah, this is really nice. I'm really into these 20. These 20 feel really sick now.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Some sick waylay blood moon flexing here.
Yeah, I don't have to rip apart the my deck, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Now this has kind of eviscerated our mid blocks actually. Currently we're looking at 22 highs, 13 mids, and 26 lows. So let's check out how we can maybe fix that around in our foundations. This actually seems like a really cool time to talk about acrobatic. Acrobatic is a really, really nice 0 diff, and I think now that we want the mid blocks a little more than the highs or lows, I wouldn't mind flexing that one in instead of the gotchas or the easily exciteds.
Oh, absolutely. I was cutting acrobatic specifically to fix block zone problems.
Yeah,
so
but now it can find its way back in. I'm personally way more into easily excited. I think gotcha is substantially more cuttable. How do you feel about that?
I think that the only reason that gotcha is less cuttable is the block zones.
Yeah, so right now we have 22 highs and 26 lows.
Oh, we have 26 lows? Then never mind.
Yeah, so we can actually kick the gotcha all the way out of here. Yeah, bring in some acrobatics, start to fix our mid blocks up a little bit. So now I kind of just want to talk about some void staples. I feel like we're missing some pretty nice void staples here. Namely Manly Passionate Guy and Heroic Lineage. Those cards are gnarly.
Yeah. I think that I didn't look at the Heroic Lineage because it's a speed hack, but it wasn't negation. Right. And so it was getting cut for things that did either mess with their stage or negated an effect.
Right.
But that said, could definitely find a place in here.
Yeah, I guess let's kind of look at what you've already got in here first, right? Yeah. That's probably a better place to start. The closing-ins I don't hate, although we're kind of ripping apart their hand, so speed might not be the most relevant thing.
No, spam again, high block at the time.
I do like the daunting message a lot. That card is just really good if you're like, I just need some more low blocks. This is great spam.
Yeah, and I think that's the one that when my 22 health goes down to 10, they're online.
Yeah,
they get there very fast for a 7-hand list.
I do like that a lot. All worked up. I don't know how in love with I am. I feel like we don't have really enough ways to get value out of both abilities.
No, it was this is a spam card for it was there for the stats in the block zone.
Makes sense. Okay, we'll leave that one on the chopping board. Night Watch, love me some Night Watch. As long as we got actions in our deck, I'm Night Watching all day.
Yeah.
The natural leader, I guess we just want to seal things. Is that what's going on with this?
That was it was a selective. So it was again, at the time, trying to build certain block zones, it was selective seal, and I noticed that a lot of my attacks were mid.
See, how many
has
mids are we
changed.
left with now? We still have a few. We got Waylay, Rending, Knife Strike, and Erasure Grasp. So we still have a handful, but let's. Well, it's gonna be on the cutting room floor.
It's on
I
the.
think.
It's definitely one of those things that can be on the chopping block.
Yeah, Unexpected Hero, I love Unexpected Hero. I think that card is fantastic, especially in this deck. Oh, we got you to no cards in hand. Here's 3 damage for free.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I adore me some Unexpected Hero. Tayaki, I'm a big fan of as well. Honestly, the more Tayakis, the better. I'm never upset to see multiple copies of this card. It just helps you really, really control what your rival's doing.
Yeah.
Especially all those pesky foundations that draw cards after we discard them.
Oh, yeah.
All of our hard work. I can't allow it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like influencing the youth too. A little bit more control options. Can't Escape Me is not bad either. Again, stops them from drawing cards. Very, very, very nice. And then Proud Scion, dude, I love this card.
I cannot tell you how, like, anytime, like I said, I played way back in the day, cards that on your turn were like, all right, I'm tapping that selectively on your side of the board.
It's so good. It's so good, man. Like, I looked at this card when it first came out, and I was like, this seems like a really good sideboard piece. Then I played some decks, I sideboarded it, and instantly realized, bro, I should just be mainboarding this. Holy cow. This hits Rescue Completed. This hits Heroic Lineage. This hits Think Fast. This hits Specialist of Sound. Like, oh my goodness, man. This card's nuts. Yeah, I like this. I like this card a lot. So I guess let's look at the foundations. So Manly Passionate Guy, Tape, and then Heroic Lineage. I think those are kind of our like void staples there that I'd like to see worked in some way. But I'd like to look at some specialty things I've got here first. What do you think about first impressions in this deck?
Oh, it is definitely it's the kind of thing that I feel like maybe one of. Because if you see it and you use it on your turn where you're like, I'm going in for the kill, it can be very helpful. But otherwise, I don't know that it necessarily helps a lot for this.
Yeah, I like it a lot on our kill turn. Don't really want to see it outside of that, and I definitely only want one in my board. So it definitely seems I want to see it as a spicy one of. I feel like it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a spicy one of, and then you're gonna win one game solely off the back of it, and then you're gonna be like, all right, this could be a 2 of now, boys. I love the idea of jam Waylay, rip their only mid block, and you're like, this is now an 8 damage Waylay, man. You want to half block that? Yeah, have fun with that. Yeah, no, I there's like very few decks where first impression can see a ton of value, but man, when it gets value, it gets value.
Oh yeah, and then giving the next attack speed if they actually do block it.
Yeah, it can be super scary. It can be super scary, man. How do you feel about Spooky in this deck?
So that's one of those cards that I know that I have no way to protect, and it only being able to be a one of, it feels like something that I want, but Void can't protect it.
Yeah, so that is my issue with really defensive Void decks right now. Is protecting your Spooky is super duper hard. I'm down to throw 1 in there. Like, hey, if I see it, I see it.
Yeah. Then that could definitely be a good thing because it's unique anyway, right? Like,
yeah, it's super unique. You know, if we see it, we see it. But I don't want to put like stock in it just because, yeah, like you said, man, we can't protect it. Protect it. And there's a lot of things that want to flip it these days. There's a lot of things.
Oh yeah. But then again, it does make an excellent flip target so that they don't target something else.
This is true. Yeah. I mean, if it's a card that like you're not putting stock in, anyone's gonna see it and be like, I gotta get rid of Spooky. I gotta get rid of Spooky, man.
Yeah. Exactly. And if they don't, well then.
Yeah, then you just get to continue using Spooky. It's I mean, hey, look, if all the cards on my board are good, what could possibly go wrong?
Exactly.
Okay, so I think I'm down to take All Worked Up entirely out. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I think there are better ways we can flex that high block zone. Same thing with the closing ins. I think there are better ways we can flex that high block zone right now.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me.
That gives us 6 spots to work with. How do you feel about 3 Manleys and 3 Tapes getting in there?
What do our block zones look like right now?
So after removing those 6 cards, let's take a peek. We got 17 highs, 16 mids, and 24 lows. So we're actually
gonna bring us up to 19 mids.
Mm-hmm.
And this is more just like, do I have enough
tapes
mid blocks to warrant tape?
Right. Yeah, I guess. How about? So I really want to bring Manly and Lineage in, but those are both lows, and we're actually a little overloaded on lows.
A lot of our other cards, so Proud Scion is technically a low block, but really those two don't count.
That's very true. So it's more like we've got like 22 lows. I think we might have to pick between Manly or Lineage.
Yeah, and I mean, building down a foundation after I block with it is nice, but I feel like Lineage would no, Manly's better because it's a spam.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Because I'm looking at our foundations and I'm like, man, honestly, the block zones in our foundations kind of suck. I don't know how often we do get to block with them, but we really don't have spams right now.
Yeah.
So I think we bring Manly in. We bring Manly in as a 3 of. Let's leave Lineage off of the chopping block now.
Yeah, it might be why we bring in the tape as well then.
Yeah, we could also, so we can make a decision here, right? We could bring in the tapes, and that would bring us to 19 mid blocks. And I have a couple other cards that I think might find their way in as mid blocks, but also Mediator is a really solid option.
It is, yeah.
I love Mediator.
If you play and actually draw a card.
Yeah, and even just destroy for -3 speed, that's not terrible.
That's not terrible, no.
That is not terrible at all. So, like, I'm kind of down to bring some Mediators in here.
It also says your rivals attack.
Exactly. So we can aggressively use our actions and then draw cards, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I love Mediator. That card's crazy.
Okay. I love the do as much as you can aspect of this game.
Yep. No, it's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. There's just so many avenues where it opens up really cool lines. So right now we got 20 highs, 16 mids, and 27 lows.
Oh man, those lows.
I know, right? So I want to pivot a little bit from the foundations. I want to talk about a card that I think is obnoxiously missing from this control deck, and that's Class Lineup.
I do not have any.
You do not have any. Oh, that is super unfortunate.
I am from Canada.
Oh,
do you know how many pre-releases we got?
Oh, that explains a lot. Okay, that explains a lot. All right,
we got set 3 December 12th.
Oh God, what the heck, dude? You got set 3 on December. All right,
it was sitting at the distributor from October to December.
Holy cow, that's a really long time.
Didn't ship it to stores. I don't know why.
Bro, just Asmodee things, man.
Exactly.
Things. All right, well, I'll remove Class Lineup from here for now then. But for y'all watching at home, man, this card, it's secretly busted. It is secretly
I don't disagree.
Busted.
But
that card is crazy. Yeah. So from here on now, I've kind of got a couple we have the tapes still sitting here as a maybe, and then I kind of got a couple like little nice control options. Are you feeling any of these any more than something like the natural leaders? Because that's honestly the card that I'm kind of looking at right now as a bit of a weak link in our deck. I'm not super in love with it, and almost all these are high blocks, so we're not going to mess up our zones too much if we trade.
Confused definitely would be a good replacement.
I like Confused a lot. Either Confused or Villains gives us access to throw hate, right? In a manner of speaking, which as a 7-hander can be pretty important. I mean, we're a little thicker than the average 7-hander, but still, throws can wear us down pretty quickly.
Oh, they sure can. Villains defeated. That's why I just gotta quickly take a look at.
Yeah, Villains defeated just lets us remove the rival's attack after we block it, right? So we clear their progressive, which is not great, but we heal too, and if the attack dealt damage, like if we half blocked it or something, we deny the momentum, which is really great. It's fantastic against throws. It denies the momentum of them. It pretty much heals back the half they deal. It's great against stuff like Electric Jolt, Float combo, right? It's a very multifaceted card. It also protects us from our rival's own discard, which is kind of nice.
Maybe 2 and 2 on the Confused and the Villains.
I like that, and then you can kind of just see which one you're liking better.
Yeah.
I'm super into that. So I'll get rid of these natural leaders. We'll get some Villains and some Confused in there. I have fulfilled duty and what's their plan here as the leftovers. I think now you can just sideboard those cards if you really so desire.
Yeah, I mean, what's their plan? Well, it's one of those really interesting cards. it's definitely one that takes you knowing what's going on.
Yeah, you got to be super aware. There's situations where it can certainly win you the game, but for the most part, I like that card in my deck post game 1 when I know what my rival is doing, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's a fantastic sideboard piece there.
Sideboard. Yeah.
So let's see what that leaves us now. We're looking at 20 highs, 16 mids, and 27 lows. If there was a low block that we could cut for tape, I'd be super into it. How about cutting the daunting messages for tapes? That feels like a great swap.
I mean, I think that I would do it, but those things would stay in the sideboard, and it would basically be a swap in, swap out kind of thing.
Yeah. I think we really need to balance our zones out a little more. Our zones, they're looking mighty prospect.
Yep.
They are.
I agree.
Mighty prospect, and then that brings us to a pretty nice 20 highs, 19 mids, and 24 lows. That's beautiful to me.
I think we're a little bit high on the foundations right now, because I think we're at 63 cards and started at 60.
Yeah, we're at 63 cards now with 20 attacks.
I'll test it out there. I might cut some of the, I might cut the Taiyaki down by 1.
Yeah, I like our actions a lot too. I really like this action lineup.
Yeah, I just look for things that could help me trigger the stuff and would clear themselves for the most part, and then nullify because, it's just kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's super handy, yeah. But yeah, man, I think, this looks really good for now. I love this attack lineup, dude. I love this attack lineup. This attack lineup is badass.
Yeah, the villainous waylays. Oh, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
I forgot they had Void.
Dude, Void has so much discard. Void has so much discard. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and
Thanks so much for coming on and doing this. I super appreciate it. I super appreciate the support, man.
Hey, no problem. I super appreciate what you guys are doing for the community. So,
dude,
anytime.
And
all the other content creators.
It's the best community around for the best card game around. It's just simple geometry, bro.
Yep, I agree. All right.
And there you have it, guys. That is Brian and I's Hand Control Hand Disruption Void 13 deck. This was a ton of fun to make, and if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thanks so much. If you want to get yourself an experience like this as well, you can head over to my Patreon, link in the description and pinned comment down below, to commission your very own Build-A-Deck experience with me, or I've got some other options there as well if you're interested. And if you want to support the channel even further, the join button is going to make you a channel member, which is going to grant you some exclusive perks, things like emotes and badges for when I stream. And of course, if you want to support the channel in some non-taxing ways, I would love feedback via the like or dislike button, via the comment section. And of course, if you want more, the subscribe button is always going to let me push my MHA CCG content into your news feed. Above all else though, thanks again just for making it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned some things, and I hope that I can see you in the next video.